You know, what you're seeing here is a lot of thought leadership. Frank Luntz, Ken Oletta. Ken talked a lot about frenemies and actually also a lot about Deloitte, who will be our next speaker coming up. The out-of-home world has really risen up to be part of the whole marketing and media and political ecosystem because we're sending very powerful messages. We heard from Denise Karkos, a major CMO, and now we're going to hear from another one. Alicia Hatch and I spent about an hour together at the Cannes Ad Festival, where in that 1 hour she had, I think, 10 amazing sound bites. She's one of the most prolific and smartest speakers and great executives. And in a lot of ways, we talked about with Ken earlier, the Deloittes, the PwCs, the Andersons, and others are either disrupting or becoming frenemies with what many may say is even a broken advertising media agency world. She's a real rock star. Let me welcome, come please, Alicia Hatch, come up on stage and join me here, then you'll take it over.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Wonderful. Okay.
Well, thank you, Barry.
Enjoy.
And thank you to the DPAA for having me today. It's good to be here with you. I love seeing standing room only. I think it's warranted right now in this business, in this space, in this moment, that this room is standing room only because there's an incredible amount of innovation happening not only now, but in the future around digital out of home. So, let me get started. AR kills the video star? Really? Aren't video stats just going up and up and up? I know even in our mobile survey this year, we saw a 10% jump in long-form video viewing on mobile. It's just increasing. How could AR possibly kill the video star? And the video star it is. I have spent my career sitting at intersections of many businesses. I grew up in the video gaming world at Xbox and always sort of on the edge of experience innovation wherever I was. And I think that this particular moment is instructive of things I've seen many times when intersections happen, where innovation can emerge to actually completely re-platform an entire industry. And I think that's what's happening now. So we'll talk a little bit more about this. Let's start with where AR and VR are actually working. We've heard a lot of hype for a long time, and are we really seeing it in marketing yet? We're not. But this year, 85% of enterprises are using it. Where is that happening? It's happening all over the place, heavily in manufacturing, and throughout corporations using education and training and troubleshooting applications of these technologies. But the investment cycle really hasn't kicked off. Apple and Google just released their platforms. We're just beginning to see where this is actually going. So we're seeing that these technologies are mostly being used to either save money or reinvent a business model because it's a long-term play to actually be able to make the investments right now. That was journalism this year. Do you know the Pulitzer Prize for exploratory journalism went to a VR article this year? It was not a long-form article. These formats will completely change industries. So we see all of this happening, but it's really not yet hit marketing. There are many applications, there are many examples of good marketing, engaging experiences, but it really hasn't taken over and we haven't seen widespread use. We do know, of course you all know, digital out-of-home is growing. We know that it is absolutely demonstrating an incredible amount of innovation right now, and that it's only going to increase because of this. Consumer experiences are king, and consumers increasingly expect responsive, engaging experiences. That's pretty simple. On top of that, the data opportunity out of digital out-of-home is going to continue to explode, but the biggest reason that this gets incredibly strategic and interesting is because smart cities are taking over. So rethinking this platform in the context of how a smart city will work and how, as we talked about earlier, digital out-of-home is in fact the new surround sound for these consumers as they move through their lives. Digital out-of-home is just getting started. Here's another stat. We're doing Statapalooza right now because all these things come together. By a couple years from now, 30% of web browsing sessions will be done without a screen. How's that going to work? For my 7-year-old, it's 100%. He commands Google all day long, the television, the Alexa, as to whatever he wants. He can hardly type, but all of his searching is done that way, and he looks at me like an alien when I type. Increasingly, this will happen. How will that affect digital out-of-home? Could it be that it is an extension of the inventory, the air becomes a platform? What can be done in the air? What can be done when you are walking through life with your AirPods on, commanding the world around you? What role does digital out-of-home have in a world like that? Shopping. This is where AR is starting to show up as adjacent to marketing in the most meaningful way right now. 100 million consumers will shop in AR. Yes, we know AR is helping consumers find their way through stores, and there are practical applications. But going back to my last point, what if the store is all around you? This is the future of ubiquitous shopping. Could AR be the next e-commerce platform? And what is the role of digital out-of-home in that? But this is the game changer. Yes, we know everybody's got a smartphone. That made a difference, certainly, in how the entire world works. But now we are going, according to our mobile survey from this year, from a world where people have 2 to 3 mobile devices to a world where they have 40 to 100. The barriers to entry for extending digital out-of-home experiences are about to collapse. We are in literally a mobile explosion. And it's been the year of mobile for so long, no one's noticing this. But the device proliferation is going to enable a huge amount of innovation potential for digital out-of-home. A lot of these devices are enabling AI to drive both, of course, voice interactions, but also, ultimately, thread through to driving overall intelligence, which, again, digital out-of-home is positioned to increasingly make targeting more precise, more powerful, more physically relevant. And AI threaded through those devices and as connected to the digital out-of-home ecosystem will be powerful. So why does all of this matter? Why do we care? We have been talking about customer experience forever. And that's what marketing is all about. But an experience, when you're staring at a screen, is that really an experience? Is that what humans think of as an experience? You can't even hardly engage consumers in a real and meaningful and emotional way unless you are in the real world, which is your platform. That is the digital out-of-home platform. But what consumers love is when you add value to their lives. and not just interrupt them along the way. So increasingly, AR is going to be able to extend digital out-of-home as the biggest innovation platform in marketing, because experience marketing is what everybody is trying to solve for right now. Being able to actually enhance the physical world, that's powerful. Being able to thread next level experiences into regular life, being able to move with people through their native walk, all of these things will make the relevance much, much, much more powerful. In addition to that, this notion of engagement is one where at the core of it, what we're really trying to do is drive and influence human emotions. We know from the last 20 years of neuroscience that actually decision-making is largely emotional. Yet as marketers, we have very little emotion data, almost none. And certainly if we have it, it's not captured at scale. We've talked about creativity in data forever. Do we have the right data to really drive creative? No. It will be emotional data piped in through AI that will allow us to really drive not only creativity, but experiences. And experiences that actually provide value to consumers. Allow them to extend just the quality, the basic quality of their life, which is a very different proposition than I want to get my message to you all the time. So digital out-of-home's opportunity will be as technologies improve. We've got, right now, there's gaze tracking, of course. You have vehicle recognition and gender recognition and these kinds of basic things. But increasingly, when you can capture the pheromones being released from someone's forehead or the heat coming out of their body as they're interacting with whatever, these types of things will start giving us indicators, stress, elation, will start giving us real engagement data, real experience data. So this will be, we think geolocation data is a huge opportunity for digital out-of-home, but there is a whole nother world once we are able to apply emotion data at scale. That said, this is a touchy time around the data. Consumer privacy concerns, the desire for CMOs to own the customer versus rent the customer, own their data, figuring out what you can actually do with the data now, navigating GDPR. It's all very complicated. Can we really move to this next level of emotional data? In the end, it will be the emotional data that will allow us to actually give our customers better experiences and more value. It will take a while to play out, but once we're able to do that and extend their lives, we'll have a whole different world of marketing, and they'll be welcoming us into their worlds. This is what experience marketing will be about. And being able to truly create experiences in surround sound, natively, through your world, being able to engage emotions, being able to deliver and extend their quality of life is really what experience marketing will be about. So as digital out-of-home is able to capture senses, look at the air as the platform. Think of the brain as the new interface. How are we really, and in these smart cities, how are we really going to drive this notion of experience marketing? Digital out-of-home could be the sandbox of innovation for the entire industry, for all of marketing, which is, to me, why it is so incredibly exciting. So where are we now? How long is this going to take, really? We're predicting by 2021, we'll start to see much wider spread use of AR in marketing. But in the meantime, as you're able to bring it closer into your offerings and give them a path to experiment with, you can bring it to your business sooner than that. This is the ecosystem that will enable AR for marketing. And so taking charge of that and knowing that you have the opportunity to be the innovators, I think is your opportunity to grab. And really, in terms of being the star, video's not going away, but AR as the star is all about who is the most innovative, what is the most interesting channel, who's getting all of the attention. That accelerator alone will create huge halo effect for this business as well. It will make digital out-of-home overall much more interesting as a platform. And 3 reasons that AR is going to start really standing out beyond video. AR puts contextual placement in real life. We're all trying to get that contextual placement, but it's still all in digital. The real life piece matters in terms of the value you can charge for that. The stronger emotional connection is incredibly important. At Stanford Virtual Human Interaction Lab, they're actually using VR to teach empathy. It is so much more engaging and effective as a learning platform. Being able to create these deeper experiences and elicit those reactions, those emotional reactions, makes the marketing that much more powerful and ultimately unleashes a whole new level of experience marketing. Ultimately, we know video is engaging. It brings things to life. But what AR is going to do is actually engage. AR is going to actually allow us to engage in surround sound, in both the screens and in the air. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to come out of this industry. Thank you.
That was great. My phenomes are coming out of my head because it's such a great presentation.
Good, good. Emotion.
Fabulous. Yes, it's all coming out. You've done a great job on this. You've given us some amazing guidance and advice for our industry. The AR, but everything else you've said is really, I want everybody in this industry to take on what Alicia said because it's fabulous conversation. You must be working for a consulting company.
Imagine. A few things.
We actually used, in my opening keynote, I used your term about digital out-of-home being the soundtrack of our lives. So thank you for that. And also in my comments opening up, we announced a new global initiative, a critical one, it's called We Do, Women Empowerment in Digital Out-of-Home Advertising. And what we're going to do is raise the whole level as a business grows to get women ready for executive positions in digital out-of-home. And we've formed this, and we've already had training sessions and executive. And I want to say to everybody that Alicia is, in terms of an executive, you are a leading executive, you're a brilliant CMO, you're changing a lot of the paradigms in the ad world. You've got 4 children, you're doing it all, right? I mean, it's
all
incredible.
Boys, by the way.
Yeah,
they're all
great.
boys. That makes a difference.
I mean, you're a fabulous role model for so many women and men to look up to as you really rock it all. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you for your support of women. That's incredible.
No, sure, it's important.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
All of you.
Yeah. It's We Do, and we talked about it earlier. So great advice. Thank you so much. You guys are changing a lot of what's going on. You're hiring creative people, you've got programmatic, you've got digital people. What's kind of your view on where you are sitting today and tomorrow relative to the ad agency and the media agency business, you and the other consulting companies?
Well, here's how we think about it. We make old companies new again. That's what we do. And that matters right now because 40% of Fortune 500 companies right now won't be around in 2025. It matters. And it's the customer-centric companies that are winning. But very few companies have actually become customer-centric. It's a lot of lip service. It actually involves a complete reorientation of the whole enterprise across everything, because everything is in fact branding. So marketing is becoming increasingly strategic. CMOs are expected to be growth drivers. So we take the role of marketing incredibly seriously, And the industry was built for an old model, and the needs of brands have changed. So we're all changing together. That's how we view it. Our industry is getting disrupted. Every single industry is disrupted. We're really just responding to the needs of brands now. And we'll all reshape this whole thing together, and it'll be more powerful than ever, I believe. I think it's actually never been a better time to be a marketer. We've never had so many tools in our toolbox. We've never been closer to truly impacting human lives. So the future's bright. We're just getting a little reorganized.
Alicia Hatch, AR, VR, digital out of home, the soundtrack of our lives, all changing the future. Thank you so much, Alicia.
Thank you very much.
Great to see you as always. Thank you.